All right, the quadratic formula. First of all, here is your quadratic formula. And remember, you're getting these pieces from that general form that was provided earlier. ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So it's going to be very important that if you want to use your quadratic formula, that your quadratics start out in this form. That way you can easily identify your a, b, and c before we plug in. Let's look at our first example. Okay, this one is already provided for us. Oops, I'll go ahead and leave that up for a second. This example is already provided for us in this general form. So what we do is start out by identifying my a, b, and c. A is the number immediately preceding the x squared. So in this example, it's 1. B is the number immediately preceding the x term, which is negative 2. Remember, if it's missing, if a term is not there, it's 0. And here our c, our constant term, is negative 1. Once you have your a, b, and c identified, it's a matter of plugging it into the formula. As a general rule, make sure that you plug everything in parentheses. So if you have minus b up here, it's minus a negative 2 in parentheses. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Once you have it completely plugged in using parentheses, as I have here, it's just a matter of cleaning it up. Minus the minus 2 is positive 2, plus or minus. Now always use that space up here. See all that empty space? Use it to clean up your quadratic formula. You don't have to try to smash it in there and then not be able to read what you're writing. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 1 is, excuse me, positive 4. So we get a total underneath the radical. See how much nicer that was to clean up? By the way, because this is a b squared term here, this number will always be positive. No matter what you square, anything squared is always positive. And here, don't forget, it's negative 4 times 1 times negative 1. Okay? All of that over 2 times 1. Looks like we can clean it up a little bit. It's 2 plus or minus, the square root of 8 cleans up to be 2 square roots of 2. Don't forget, that comes from the fact that you write down this prime factorization and then proceed to take the square root. Now, it's easiest, I think, if you'll go ahead and write the denominator underneath each term. That way you can reduce each individually, each term in the numerator individually. It's a little easier. 2 over 2 becomes 1. And here the 2's cancel, leaving me the square root of 2. And so there is my answer. I have one final example I'd like to do with you in the quadratic formula. Now, this is the way it starts out. And hopefully, and of course, you're probably thinking to yourself, that's not in the right form. I can't pick my A, B, and C out that way. And that's correct. So start by moving everything over to the left or to the right, as long as it's set equal to 0. Now, as a personal preference, I like the a term, or my squared term coefficient, to be positive. So I'm going to choose to leave everything on the right-hand side, move the 4x over to make it a negative 4x. That way, when I identify my a, b, and c, my a is positive. And again, not necessary. You can move everything over to the left. This is just a personal preference. Here, a is identified as 4. B is a negative 4, and C is a negative 3. And so we'll plug into our quadratic formula, minus whatever B is, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2 times A. Minus a minus 4 is positive 4. And again, we'll clean up this radical here. Negative 4 squared is 16, and again, I prefer to do it up here. It's just a little easier for me. Negative 4 times negative 3, that's a positive 48. And adding that up and everything will give me, looks like 64, all over 2 times 4, which is 8. And it does look like it's going to clean up just a little bit more, so we're going to go ahead and do that. 4 plus and minus the square root of 64 comes out as 8. Put each one of these over 8. And so we end up with, actually that one does, since they combine already, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up that way. 4 plus 8 is 12 over 8. That's one of my answers, which reduces to 3/2. 4 minus 8 is negative 4/8, which is negative 1/2. So there are my two answers.